Hello everyone, I'm Via from Via Creates and welcome to this new video. Today I'm going to be sharing the first part of my new series, which is called The Closet Project, and this is going to be kind of a continuation of my journey to build a sustainable closet. So this video in particular is going to be a look into setting up my journal for this project because I love bullet journaling and that's a way that I like to plan and also record things in my life, so I thought I would set up a whole new journal specifically for this project. Here I am finishing up the first step of this part of the project, which is the cover of the notebook. I also felt like I needed to do a designated cover page for this, so on the first page I rewrote the title and did a cute little scrapbook theme for it. So if you've seen any of my previous videos, this might seem a little bit of a different theme than what I normally do, so I wanted to give a little bit of background on kind of why I started this project and why I'm interested in it. So I actually study environmental health science in school, and one of my particular interests is the fashion industry and environmental justice. The fashion industry is not only one of the largest polluting industries in the world, but there's a lot of human rights issues associated with the entire industry. When you look at making an item of clothing from cradle to grave, basically from the growth or manufacture of the materials all the way until the end of the life cycle when it's disposed of, there's a lot of pollution along the entire lifespan of an item of clothing. Because this is something that I'm really passionate about, that I study in school, that I potentially want to work with in my career, I definitely knew that I wanted my personal lifestyle choices to reflect everything that I was doing in school and outside of school. So I started a couple of summers ago to look into sustainable fashion, kind of what it means to have an eco-friendly closet. And there's a lot to sort through, a lot of things that I didn't personally agree with as somebody who has been studying environmental health science. I think a lot of things that are out there are very much unattainable to the average person. So after I kind of looked through a bunch of different books and different social media accounts, different videos, that sort of thing, I started to really identify things that were really helpful to me personally as a busy college student, and that I hope are helpful to other people as well. Before I continue on with this video, I just want to let you all know that there's absolutely no pressure to follow any or all of the things that I show in these videos. I am just showing my own personal methods for building my own sustainable wardrobe, but if you do not feel that you have the time or the money or the resources or the energy right now to do these things, I hope you feel absolutely no pressure to do so. If you take anything at all from these videos, the most sustainable wardrobe is the one that you already have. Everybody has their own journey and their own methods that work for them, so just take everything I say with a grain of salt, and I hope that you enjoy this video as a way to gain inspiration and ideas. Alright, so the main part of this video now is showing you guys how I created my vision boards of kind of what I want my closet to look like. So I used my printing dollars that I had left over from the end of the semester to print a bunch of photos from Pinterest, and I started by cutting all of them out, which was so much harder and longer than I thought it would be, but I got it all done in one night, which was kind of incredible. So here I am just cutting them out and watching some YouTube videos at the same time. Some of these pictures are simply just outfit inspiration pictures, and some of them are different knitting and crochet and sewing patterns that I want to try as well. So for the ones that are patterns, I actually kept the name of the pattern and the creator of the pattern attached to the photo so that I could easily find it for later. So I'm finally getting to the end here and basically organizing each section of photos so that when I put them into my journal later, it's easy to find which category they belong to. And here's my kitty, she joined for a little bit. I basically filled up my waste paper basket by the end of this, but I had everything organized and ready to go. It took a few days for me to finish all of these vision boards, but I'm so glad I put the time into it because these genuinely turned out so good and they've already been really helpful to me, and it hasn't even been that long since I filmed these videos. So I definitely encourage all of you, if you are also kind of a more tactile person like me, to try this because I was able to just really organize things in a way that made sense to my brain. Here I am further breaking down the categories of the photos that I had into different subsections so that I could have a page for like business casual, a page for sweaters and cardigans, a page for long skirts, that sort of thing. This first one is going to be just different like casual, comfy clothes and outfits that I liked. And all of these photos are things that I have had on my Pinterest board, honestly, for a while, that I have taken inspiration from already, or things that are really similar to what I know I already like. A lot of this portion of the project has been inspired by a book called The Conscious Closet, and I read this a couple of years back, and there are definitely some pretty worthwhile criticisms of the book on Goodreads if you want to check those out. But I think there was also a lot of good things about the book. So I think what I took away from it most is that it's just really important to like your clothes, which kind of sounds like a duh statement, but I think a lot of times, at least me personally, I was very inclined to buy clothes that I was like, well, I could like see the potential in them, or they were things that were trendy, or things that other people were like, oh, you should get this, it would look good on you, which isn't necessarily a bad reason to buy clothes. But when it's all your clothes, I like could never find anything to wear, and I was constantly wearing like the same 5 items because the rest of my clothes, I wasn't comfortable in them. They weren't colors that I liked, or they just straight up didn't match with my other clothes, so I just was really having a hard time making outfits out of them. So I took kind of all of this information from this book, and I was like, okay, how am I going to make a closet that I actually like? So I started looking at clothes that I wore all the time, and a lot of those were things like sweaters and flannels, things that were really comfy. So this first spread is all about the comfy casual clothes that I just wear all the time and I really love. Along with the pictures in these spreads, I also wrote little notes of things that I liked about the pictures or things that I wanted to think about, and even pointed out like if I already had like these items of clothing, because a lot of times I was like, oh, I have something really similar, so I could totally style it this way. Basically, if you decide to do this, I hope that you find ways to personalize it to you and to connect it to your interests and what you like to wear. Another thing that I really think about now when I'm either buying new clothes or giving away old clothes is the colors that I like to wear. So you'll notice probably in a lot of these spreads that there's a lot of the same colors repeating, and that kind of happened both naturally and also consciously. I definitely started looking at like colors first to be like, okay, well, it's going to be a lot easier to make outfits out of clothes and to match clothes if I have similar color schemes. And that's not to say that like you should ever limit yourself to like colors in your closet, because if you've seen any of my art or bullet journal spreads, you know that I'm obsessed with colors all the time. But I do think it's like really helpful if you have at least some base colors that you like to work with a lot. And for me, I really like wearing blues and greens and black a lot, so kind of more darker colors. I might throw in, you know, some brown or some white, and then I also have like different pops of colors. Like I have a couple things that are in like a really bright pink, or some things that are in purple. And I found that this is actually really helpful because a lot of times in stores they will put clothes together in ways that make them look really nice because they want you to buy them. And so I would see these different displays at stores and be like, oh my gosh, I have to get this thing in this color. And then I would get back to my house and I would be like, I don't even like this color. Like, why did I even think this was a good idea? Because obviously the stores are trying to sell clothes, so they're trying to make those things look as attractive as possible. So just understanding whether you like to wear bright colors or not, or if if you prefer to wear cool colors or warm colors, can be really helpful when you're looking at clothes and you're like thinking of, oh, should I buy this thing? It might help reduce some impulse buys if that's an issue that you face. This page in particular was a mix of both items that I already have or items that I actually don't own yet. I actually discovered while I was doing this project that I really like sweater vests. I had them all over my Pinterest boards, but I actually don't own any. And since I am currently doing a no spend year for clothes and also makeup and stationery, I decided to look at different knitting and crochet patterns for making sweater vests, because I already have a bunch of yarn anyways that needs to be used up. And so since I already know I like sweater vests, I figured that would probably be a really great project to do and something that I would actually wear. Another thing that I was considering as I was making these vision boards was the way that different items can be layered, because I live in Texas, and with the crazy weather that has been here in the past couple of years, it's either going to be really, really hot or really, really cold. And so it's really nice to have items that I can wear in both hot weather and cold weather just by layering them different ways. So I definitely was really putting an emphasis on that as I was kind of compiling the images that I wanted to keep in here of whether these were things that could be easily layered and that I could wear it during more than one time of the year. In the end, I hope that these vision boards will just really serve as an inspiration and a way for me to kind of look at the overall vibe of what my closet, what I already have, and what I want to wear. So in the future, when it is time to make or buy new clothes, I kind of have these ideas in mind, so I'm a lot more conscious of the choices that I make. Of course, this absolutely doesn't mean that I can't change what I like, and I think it'd be really interesting to make more vision boards, you know, maybe every year, every other year, to kind of see like how my tastes evolve, if there's anything that stays the same. And we are at the end of our video. Here's one last look at everything that I worked on, and I hope that this was helpful to you. If you are interested in doing this, I hope that it goes well. I definitely recommend it if you love journaling and you're looking to make more conscious choices with the clothing that you buy or that you make. This has definitely helped me to reduce impulse buying and to really just like the clothes that I wear a lot more. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you have any questions or ideas for future videos, please leave them in the comments below.